What is good, everybody? Saints versus 49ers. Another tough loss for the Saints. 2 weeks in a row now, but they fought, and that's really all you can ask to do, at this point in time when they're, clearly rebuilding. And this is a tough defense that they played yesterday. Robert Saleh has these guys firing on all cylinders. And to see the way that Spencer Rattler played versus this defense, it is extremely encouraging. This was, in my opinion, by far his best game as a professional football player so far, right? So let's get into some of the film from the game against the 49ers. All right, kicking things off here with the deep throw to Shaheed on the little fade, right? And, we can pretty easily, at least in my opinion, say that this is one of the best throws of Spencer Rattler's career, at least so far, right? We're going to get, again, it's just a fade route up at the top, and we're going to get man coverage, and the deep safety is going to be all the way over here, right? It's going to be cover one, and this is the deep safety. Notice how he is on the right side of the field, more towards the passing strength, where you have doubles or two receivers down here at the bottom, right? So we essentially have Rashid Shaheed all by himself up here at the top, right? Spencer Rattler notices this, and he takes advantage of it, and that's really all it is. And he lays an absolute dime in there. Right, so we get the play action, top of our drop. Let's look where Spencer Rattler releases this ball, right? So he's releasing it now. Shaheed just passed the 45, and let's check out where he catches this thing. Boom, about the 30-yard line. And I mean, listen, it's not bad coverage whatsoever, but what do they say? There's no coverage for a perfect pass. And this was a perfect pass, and you even get the pass interference penalty to go along with it. So this was a fantastic way for Spencer Rattler to start this game. Next one here, this is going to be on the missed touchdown to Olave. And oh my goodness, this is just a disgusting route from Chris Olave. So he's just going to come in motion, right? He's going to motion to the other side here. And the Saints really have the perfect play call drawn up to beat the coverage. But first, let's take a look at the route from Chris Olave here, because it is worth watching by itself alone. Look at this. Upfield, sell the corner, sell back inside, and any time that you end up with a DB like that, you did something right. I mean, oh, man. So let's talk about what we got going on concept-wise. So we're essentially going to get the tight end down here, right? Over, deep post in. I can't really tell what it is he's supposed to be running, but it's going to occupy the deep safety is the point. And then, of course, we get Olave behind it. And the 49ers, they're going to be in quarters coverage, right? And this play just stresses the rules of quarters coverage. So essentially you have these four back here, and it's going to turn into man coverage if the guy in front of them goes vertical. So when Juwan goes vertical here, that means all of a sudden this safety has to bite down on that, and that leaves the back end open for the Chris Olave, right? Potential touchdown. And I mean, look at it. It works perfectly. Juwan on the vertical, safety bites down. That vacates this area of the field. Chris Olave cooks his guy, and we just can't connect on it, right? Should it have been caught? It's tough, man. It's tough. It's a really, really tough catch when you're a receiver and you got all your momentum coming this way, and as you're breaking to the inside the ball, you see it behind you. It's a tough adjustment to make, but at the end of the day, I think we have to make that catch. And watching this live, I was critical of the throw from Spencer Rattler, but I think watching it back and watching exactly what happened, I'm a little less critical. I still think we need a better throw here, obviously, but if you watch here, he gets interior pressure from the left guard spot. And I don't know, maybe it affects his throw, right? Like I mean, our offensive lineman is in our lap right now. And remember, the ball was thrown a little too much this way, right? Little too much to Rattler's left, to our right. Is that because, we have this interior pressure right here to where he couldn't really get the ball more on a straight trajectory than he would have liked, right? Is that why the ball is behind? Probably, maybe. But at the end of the day, oh, that's heartbreaking, man. Next play, though, I'm not sure. I don't know what we're trying to accomplish here on offense. So we're going to get a flat from the tight end. Looks like a post from Shaheed. Maybe like a deep out from Cooks. Flat for Kamara, check down. But I don't understand what we're doing, what Olave is doing here. So he's gonna, we're gonna mess with him in the backfield pre-snap, and then we're gonna bring him back and just kind of send him over the middle. And it looks like that's the read, but he just kind of is just jogging. Like, you just watch for yourself. So there's the motion, but watch how he just kind of just jogs through the route and like doesn't even really look back at the ball, you know? Possibly, the read is down here to the bottom of the screen. That's probably more likely based on Rattler's eyes because he looks to the right, you know? It's covered, eventually comes open, but by that time pocket collapses. So I don't know. It seems like everybody's kind of just a little lackadaisical on their routes for me. I mean, even Shaheed doesn't really look like he's going full speed here. I mean, but either way, even if Olave isn't the primary read here, like we have to at least like try. But on that same play, you notice they line up Nick Bosa over Cesar Ruiz, right? And that just tells you what the 49ers think of Cesar Ruiz. Um, and he's lined up here and he's rushing it like he's still on the edge, and he does it. And I think Cesar Ruiz thinks that they're trying to run some kind of game where, like a TE where he would like come out here and then we get a looper inside. By the way, he tries to pass this thing off to Fuaga, but really Bosa's just treating this like an edge rush. You can see like we get the punch there from Ruiz. Maybe he thinks it's a stunt. Either that or he just gets beat so badly that that's what it looks like, right? I don't know. Either way, once again, we're seeing the back of 51's jersey with his guy draped on our quarterback. I don't know. Next one here, and this was a positive to see yesterday. The run game got going finally. We wasn't really able to do much with it in week 1, but week 2 against defense that's really good, they got it going. So here we got a little pin and pull. So basically, if you have a guy inside you, you're gonna pin him. So here we're gonna pin this, pin this, pin this, Juwan, and then we're gonna pull around, right? And it's something that Kellen Moore has done a lot in all of his stops, is pin and pull, and it works here, right? We get a nice job by Fuaga here, pinning this guy. Nice job by McCoy blocking back. Banks back here on the backside against Bosa. Juwan kind of whiffs on his block, but Kamara is able to sort of navigate that and get out of the way, and he's just going to follow the blocks, right? Set up the blocks perfectly. Ruiz gets out here on somebody and just follow the blocks, right? So creative in the run game, successful in the run game. I like it. I hope it continues to be this way because, this team needs a successful run game if they're going to have success on offense. All right, this one here is on a 2nd down and 8. They're trying to get this post wheel concept here. And then they're going to have Kamara in the flat, and really Kamara will be open. And possibly backside to Olave might be open, but you can't, there's just no time because number 51 once again is just getting smoked and is getting the quarterback ran off his spot, and this ends up being a holding call, which further puts the Saints in a hole. So if you're doing the math here, it all starts with Ruiz losing again, and you end up with a holding call, right? And I tweeted this out. I really wish Cesar Ruiz would implement more independent hand usage in his strikes, because he is a primarily two-handed strike puncher. And when you strike with 2 hands, you are leaving no room for error, because if your hands get knocked down, that's it, right? But when you use independent hands and independent strikes, aka one hand at a time, which is what the high-level offensive line coaches are teaching these days, you have a chance to recover with your other hand if you do happen to get beat. So right here, again, the two-handed strike gets him in trouble, right? Throws both of them, boom, hands are knocked down, and that's all she wrote. That's all it takes, right? So, what can you do at this point with 51? I don't know. Next one here, another missed opportunity, or a missed opportunity because we get some pressure from the cornerback. AK comes over and does his best, but really not enough. So we're going to get a slot fade here, okay, from Shaheed. We're going to get Cooks down here with a fade, and then we're going to get Olave across the middle. And really, there's so many guys open on this play. It's man coverage. They bring the blitz from the corner, like I said. You can see AK tries to get over there and do a good job, but he kind of just whiffs on it. Spencer Rattler has to get out of there. But if you look up top, I wouldn't have minded Rattler letting this thing go like right now. Let it go to Shaheed. That's the number one read against this, especially against man coverage. And I mean, if I'm reading this correctly, that's a linebacker, 53 Winters, I believe it is. That's a linebacker against Shaheed. Like this, you have to let this ball go, right? He gets off of this way too quickly, like almost instantly gets off of it. If you look at his eyes, he's like off of it now, which I don't understand. You got to recognize linebacker, let this thing go. The play at the very beginning, the ball that he threw, that would have been just like this one, right? He can make the throw. So, but other than that, I mean, if you look at Chris Olave, these two Niners get confused on who they're supposed to be guarding, and he's going to come wide open over the middle, wide open. But again, the pressure causes Rattler to be sacked. And even Brandon Cooks at the bottom smokes his man, right? So just the game of inches, I suppose. How about this throw on a 2nd and long? So again, Niners are going to be in quarters coverage, right? And if we get a vertical from Cooks, that means the safety is going to have to take in man coverage, right? And he's just going to run by him or run out in front of him, and Rattler's going to put this thing on him. Again, this is a 2nd and long situation here. But look at this on the Yankee concept where we have the deep end, the post behind it. If we get the safety to bite down, we know that Cooks can just run right past him. Okay. And then guess what? That's what he does. Boom. Great throw. That's a throw worthy of looking at it from the end zone angle because of how pretty it was. Play it here. Play fake, top of the drop. Launch it with pressure in your face. Beautiful. Another clip of the Saints run game from yesterday. This time they're going to run what I know to be called as dart. So we're essentially going to get this right here, and Fuaga is going to end up pulling on the inside for a linebacker, right? And, not the greatest pull in the world from him. He is hurt right now, but it gets like 7 yards, this run does. So creativity, right? Dart concept. Look at this. I mean, everybody does their job. Look at the hole he has to run through. And Fuaga kind of gets caught up on Dylan Redun's laid out body right here, but he does end up getting a piece of Fred Warner, right? And Kamara bounces off the tackle and is able to get about 7 yards. So a lot of creativity going on with the Saints run game. And like I said before, it's really nice to see because they need the run game to be consistent this year for sure. This is on the touchdown to Juwan Johnson. And this ball was going to Juwan Johnson all the way through. It's pretty clear it's designed for him. And I like it. They're going to get him on this little wheel out here. And they're going to have Vele essentially just run through the middle here and get in the way of the defender that's guarding Juwan Johnson. So essentially a little pick play. But it's legal because it's, within the line of scrimmage, right? And then you're going to also have Cooks come in here and get in the way of people as well. And Juwan Johnson does the rest, right? Tough day for him. Tough week last week with the end zone drop. But, this is a really good play from him. So watch Vele kind of just get in the way of that defender, right? And then Cooks is going to run his guy off to the inside. And essentially you're left with a wheel to Juwan Johnson. It's really still decent coverage by the Niners despite the pick and despite everything going on. But it's just a really nice throw and a really nice catch for a touchdown. And I mean, let's talk about the throw from Rattler, right? There's pressure around the edge. This isn't necessarily all on Banks because we do get extremely far back from the line of scrimmage. I mean, let's see, what do we get? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like 10.5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So, it's probably like 50-50 on the tackle on the quarterback here. But again, we're throwing this all the way through. We know where the ball is going. So we're just going to try to throw this fade away, right? And we put it on the money. Boof, right? Let's go end zone view again. Worth seeing the end zone view on this one. Okay. Take the snap. Pressure in your face. Throw it up. Money. Next one here. I love the poise from Spencer Rattler. This is on a drive concept, a 3rd down. And we're going to get, the deep in from the tight end. Shallow from Olave. And then, he's reading this thing, Olave, but it's not there. The Niners are going to play a mix of man and zone here. But I like the poise from Rattler, right? When his read isn't quite there, right? He's looking for Olave probably here, but all these defenders are underneath, dropping underneath, right? It's not there. That's fine. We step up in the pocket. We keep calm. We know we have Kamara coming back on our check down, right? After AK, is in there at that sniffer position looking to pick up a possible blitz, he's going to release. So we know we have him releasing. So let's stay calm, right? Let's move our feet in the pocket and let's get a pass out to Kamara to pick up a almost first down, but they picked up one on the very next play. So love the poise here from Spencer Rattler, doing a nice job versus a blitz look against the San Francisco 49ers. Now, this is the end zone view from that same play, and I want to take a look at Kelvin Banks Jr., and he learned some valuable lessons going against Nick Bosa, okay? Again, Bosa probably, top 3 in the league, top 4, top 5 for sure. Lined up way out here wide. I mean, this is a tough ask, okay? But if there's one knock that I've had on Banks, even, before he was drafted with the Saints, is he tends to lean a lot, right? Tends to lean a lot in his strikes, so you'll see him lean forward here. See how he's leaning forward? That right there will get you beat badly against elite rushers in the NFL because they're just going to use that against you. So watch what Bosa here. He's going to go for a bull. He's going to go for the push, pull, right? And when you're already leaning, that makes that push or that pull a lot easier to work, and you end up on the ground like this. So something the rookie has to work on. Next one here, fourth quarter, Saints down 2 scores. This is one that Rat would love to have back, right? Just skips this ball in the dirt. It's going to have a deep sit route, deep hook route. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back foot hits. We let it go nicely on time. Decent enough, right? Decent enough anticipation. We just don't make the throw, and that's wide open, man. Oh, man. 3rd and 3, late in the 4th. Saints need a couple scores still here, and we get obvious man-to-man coverage look from the Niners, and they're going to bring Fred Warner on a blitz. And they're going to act like this guy's blitzing, but he's going to stay back as well, maybe as a spy. But I love the play call again because you're just essentially getting guys open. You're scheming guys open. So we're going to hit Olave on this little wheel fade here. But again, watch what Brandon Cooks does. He essentially picks the guy for him, right? And again, this is just scheming guys open. Watch how he just gets in the way of his guy and the one guarding Olave. And Olave, really, this ball could be thrown shorter back shoulder, but I like what they do. They take it more upfield. Hit the sort of back shoulder, a little high, but Olave goes up to get it, right? We catch the ball for a first down late in the 4th. Love it, right? Again, good catch. Now, let's look at the protection-wise because I want to give a shout-out to Sir Kendre Miller on this. Look at him pick up Fred Warner on this blitz protection, all right? The line's going to be sliding right, which usually means the running back is going to be responsible for anything on the opposite side, any extra blitzers on the opposite side. And in this case, we see that ends up being Fred Warner. So look at this. Boom. That's how you handle blitz pickup as a running back. Next one here, quick little slant to Vele, working out of the slot. Gives a nice little move here. Fake inside or fake outside, come back inside for the slant. And Rattler puts it right on the money. So watch Vele. Boom, head fake outside, jab step outside, get back inside, right? Get a nice contested catch for the touchdown. And plays like this are why the Saints traded for him. Big body in the red zone, in the end zone that you can go to when you need it most. Next one here, about 4 minutes left to go in the game. This is a 3rd down. We end up getting sacked here by Nick Bosa. Okay. And, this is tough, Quarterback kind of just stands stationary in the pocket. But we probably should have thrown the slant up top. So we're going to get middle of the field open. And we're getting double slants up here, which is what you want against middle of the field open. So you're essentially going to read the defender, the overhang player here, which would be 53 in this case. If he goes more towards the flat, we'll throw the inside slant. If he follows his inside slant, we're going to throw the outside slant, right? And we get the look we want here, But for whatever reason, we get off of it way too quick. We check backside, nothing's going backside. And by that time, the pressure closes in and we get sacked. Last play here, this is on the sack, okay? And I tweeted this out, but I can tell you after watching 2 weeks of Kellen Moore's offense, his favorite passing concept by far is a drive concept, okay? So we're going to get the shallow from this receiver. In front of it or above it, we're going to get the deep dig from Juwan Johnson, right? And it's there. It's going to be there 100%. It's open. But we get sacked, right? Fuaga just gets absolutely smoked off the line for the game, which is tough, man. He played decent all game. He's hurt. So it's unfortunate, but You know, the Niners are going to show all these people, you know, like they're blitzing, but they're not. They're going to drop out. Right? They're going to drop out, play a quarters look again. You could see Juwan. He's going to come open right here. He's going to come open. Rattler would have been able to hit that throw. You know, if I'm not mistaken, the first read on this is usually the underneath guy, right? So it'd be, I believe that's Shaheed, if my eyes don't deceive me. And, you know, if it's man coverage, you keep running. If it's zone, you settle down somewhere. But with it being like a match quarters concept, they kind of just get matched. He gets matched. So that's not open. But Juwan was open up top, right? But, you know, sacked. You know, a lot of positive stuff from this game you can take away. I think Kellen Moore, you know, obviously it's only been 2 weeks, but this was a beautifully called game in my opinion from Kellen Moore. Definitely better than week 1. And Rattler, best game of his career, made some really nice throws, moved well in the pocket. Still some accuracy issues that he needs to work on, but you know, reps. Overall, encouraging signs against a really tough defense. Appreciate you guys watching. Peace.